Welcome back to Oops with C++ session 28. In previous session, we have seen this pointer, and also I have given one assignment with respect to this pointer where I have modified the set details argument names from name to emp name and ID to emp ID, and asked you to check the program whether it is working or not. And also there is something like function concatenation. So instead of set details and display function calling separately, what I did is I am calling the set details and display function uh, at the in the single line. Okay, so I asked you to check this. So on given clue for this pointer you have to use. And if you see here, I have used something like a new data type, that is string. So string is a class. If you want to work with a string related operation, you can use you have to include a string class hash include sorry string file hash include string, and you can make use of string for all character array related operations. Okay, so it is easy, and no need to do any string copy, string length, all those such type of things you need not to use. You can directly use emp name equals to employee name. So previously what we are doing is we are doing string copy emp name comma emp name, right? Instead of that you can use the equals to operator. Like however you are working with normal integer float character, like that you can work with character arrays also. Okay, and it is actually a string is a wrapper class built on a character. Okay, so now let's see, I asked you this, I don't know how many of you have tried. Just see how it is working, what is the output of this program. First we will solve this and then later we'll go to this. Okay, so now going to the code. Login. Right. Um, Okay, so same code. If I want to work with a string related, if you are including a string data type, then what you have to do is you have to include string here, string file. Okay, so now uh, have given the solution here. Okay, yeah. So this is our code. So what we are doing is this employee name and whatever parameters we are passing, the parameter name and the class attributes name both are same. Okay, so now I'm doing employee name equals to employee name, employee ID equals to employee ID. Okay, now just observe what is happening, what output we are going to get for this. See, it's a garbage value. Okay, some numbers are coming but it is a garbage value. Okay, so now let's see why it is printing garbage value. Okay, now coming to this program, first we will analyze this what is happening here, then we'll move to this program. Okay, so this is a part of this pointer. By using this pointer we can solve this, so that's why you have taken this pointer application here. So now what we have to do is whenever we are doing this operation, so here I am creating the object C employee, employee 1, employee 2. Now as usual, you know, in the since it is we are creating the objects in main memory, sorry, main function in the local scope, so the objects will get memory in stack segment. So stack segment by default the values will be assigned with some garbage values. Okay, so now two objects are getting created, employee 1 and employee 2 with the garbage values initially. So now I'm doing emp1 dot set details to initialize this. So whenever we do emp1 dot set details, so now what will happen is for set details a separate stack frame will be created, and in that stack frame we have already discussed, this pointer will be the first argument to the member functions, non-static member functions of the class. So this pointer will be there, and along with we have two more data types, the two more arguments, that is employee name and employee ID. So employee name and employee ID. So this pointer who is invoking here in this line, emp1 is invoking the set details function. So this pointer will hold the emp1 address. That is, this pointer is pointing to emp1. Now it is having 1000 memory location. That is this object's address it is having. Now what is the value of emp name? Emp name I am passing as Richie. Emp ID I am passing as 101, right? So Richie and 101 will be copied to this. Now the second line emp name equals to emp name. So now whenever we are doing this one, what our compiler will do is it will try to check is there any local variables declared inside this function members. Yes, the local variables are there. The local variable emp name is there, and the same emp name will be copied to the same location. Means the same value will be overridden. Okay, so now what will happen? Same Richie will be copied to the in this memory location only. In the same way, emp ID is copied to emp ID, the local variable. So because always priority will be given to the local variables. Okay, so now the priority is given to local variables. So same emp name will be overridden with Richie, and same emp ID is overridden with 101. But actually where we have to copy it? So this emp name we have to copy it to here wherever this pointer is pointing, and this emp id, that is 101, we have to copy to here employee one's employee id, means where this pointer is pointing, but it is not happening because it is copying locally. Now once you come out of this stack frame, what will happen? So the objects so what will happen? Stack frame will get deleted, and the values now you are printing display. Same thing for emp2 dot set details also. When you say emp1 dot display, nothing is initialized and it is having the garbage values. We are getting the garbage values now. Now what is the solution here? So your compiler is getting confused whether to copy this content to the object who is invoking it, or whether I have to copy it to the local variables, because always the priority will be given to local variables. So for this, the solution is you explicitly mention that this emp9 name is belongs to the invoking object. So how we can say we have a pointer and it is pointing to this object? We can say this arrow emp name equals to this emp name, means wherever my this pointer is pointing to that emp name, you copy this local variable emp name, and wherever this arrow employee id is there, to that place only you copy this 101 value. So how we can mention that one? So just mention like this arrow emp name equals to emp name, this arrow emp id equals to emp id. Okay, now what will happen when we are doing this operation? Then what will happen? Instead of copying the contents locally, what it will do? So emp name will be copied here. So wherever this pointer is pointing, and emp id will be copied to emp id of emp1 where the this pointer is pointing. So same thing applicable for set2 details also. When you are doing emp2 dot set details, then what will happen? So again, instead of emp1, it will act on emp2. Okay, so like this we can resolve the ambiguity between the local variables of the member function along with local variables of the member function with the class members or object members. So by using this pointer. Okay, so now let's use the same syntax and see whether we are able to resolve this issue or not. So getting locked. Yeah. So previously we were getting garbage values. Now what I will do is I am adding this arrow employee name equals to employee name here. Just only this arrow. I'm specific explicitly mentioning this is belongs to the invoking object. Okay. So this is the thing. Now let's see. Compile this program. Dot slash dot out. Now you can see Richie 101, store stop 102. So without without using this pointer, what we are doing? We are getting the garbage values. Okay. So now, so what is the second one? that is this application one dot cpp, that will come back. Okay, so like this it will copy. So then what is happening, these values are copied to 101 and reach and once the function is coming out of this scope, sorry, once the control is coming out of this scope, then this stack frame will be removed and only this 101 reach will be there. Okay, so now what is the second assignment? So that is we have the we got the resolution for this. So if the local variables and uh, invoking objects or class attributes are having the same name, then use the this pointer. So and always advise whatever local variable name, whatever attributes name we have in the class, same attribute, same names you use here also, but inside the methods you use this this arrow. Okay, this is the advised method, advised way of writing the program. Okay, so instead of writing, because it will avoid the confusion whether you are referring to the local variable or whether you are referring to the class object. Okay, using this arrow is advised. Okay, so if both are having different names, say for example instead of emp name it is simply having name, then you can use emp name equals to um, sorry, this is not, one second, this is not, this is equals to. Okay, okay, right, sorry. Okay, so this is the advised way to use to assign the way values inside the member functions. Use this pointer to avoid the confusions. Okay, so now for this let's see go for this problem. So what we are doing is first previously we were calling set details function first, then display function. So now what I want is first within the same line, so set details and display function both I am calling. Okay, now how to achieve this, whether it is working or not working. Okay, so now yeah, same program, I'm just compiling this program. Let's see. See, you can see the error. Error at line number 2417, error invalid use of void. Okay, so why it is error? Line number 24. So what is there? Line number 24, invalid use of void. Okay, so now we have to remember the basic rule of invoking the member function. So like, so what we said, if you want to invoke any member function or if you want to access member of your class, what are the things is required? So one is you need a dot operator. Okay, and along with the dot operator we need one object of the same class. Okay, so now here emp1 dot set details, first you take this function. When we take this function, what is happening, emp1 is there, it is conditions are conditions are passed here. So like so this set details is invoked by object of the same class and the dot operator is also there. So these two are there. So set underscore set details function will be called. So after this, what is happening? What is the return type of this set details function? The return type of this set details function is void. Okay. So now it will be the display function will be invoked like this now. So display function will be invoked like this, void dot display. Okay, so void return type is there, with void return void is going to invoke the display function. Okay, so can you see what is the answer? Invalid use of void for this display function, because this one emp1 dot set details, it is returning void, And then what is the concatenation? Void dot display. So void is going to invoke the display function. This is an illegal operation, right? So what we need? We need object of the same class. Okay, and object of the same class we need, and along with that dot operator is also required. So before display function dot operator is there, that is fine. Another condition is object of the same class is not there, but what it is having? It is having void. So then what is the solution? The solution is, okay, change the return type of this void to what? Instead of void we need object of the same class. See employee. So here also we have to change. Okay. Now, will it work now? Let's see. No, no return in function returning non-void. So it's warning, but it is error only. Okay. So now why we are getting the no return is there? It is not returning any object. So now we know that this pointer is always pointing to the invoking object. Okay. Now same object I have to return. How I can return? Return star this. So by using return star this, you can return the same object of the class. Now, so what is the return type of this set details function? That is CEmployee object. So how can I return the CEmployee object? You need either you create a new object and return it, or what you can do is this function, this object is already holding address. This pointer is already holding address of the invoking object. That is emp1 address it is holding. Now same object I can return it. How I can return it? Return star this, because this pointer is pointing to the invoking object. So same object I am returning. With that object only I am displaying. Now let us see whether it is working or not. It's compiled successfully. Dot out. So we are getting the proper output. Richie 101 and store stop 102. Okay. So that is the thing. So this one, what are the modifications we have done for this program? The return type we have modified from void to CEmployee. So void to CEmployee, and here also from void to CEmployee. And since this pointer is holding address of the invoking object, then we are returning the star this. Okay. So here you can see two different applications. We can, by using this pointer, we can return the invoking object from the member function. So emp1 is invoking set details, same emp1 object I am returning. Okay. So if emp2 is invoking, then emp2 I am returning. Means I can return the invoking object from the member function using this pointer. And also because of that, what we can do, we can achieve this function concatenation. Okay. So this is the these are the applications of this pointer. Okay. So what are the points? What are the applications we have observed? To resolve ambiguity between local members of the function and invoking object members, this pointer will be more helpful. Okay. So that ambiguity is there, which local members or object members to which I have to assign. To resolve that ambiguity, to resolve that confusion, we can use the make use of this pointer. And also, if there is a situation where you want to return the invoking object of the member function invoking object of some the same member function, then you can use the this pointer like a return star this we have done, right? We can use that. And to do function concatenation like set details and display function, both together we have invoked, right? So during that time also, from one function from one member function you can return an object of the same class, and with that object only you are going to invoke another function. So the second function set details and display function, so both we can invoke together, right? So even you can add one more function also. So make sure from display function also you are going to return one more object. With that object you can invoke it. So, and another main important thing is to identify the invoking object memory location to access the object members within the non-static member functions. This is the main point. Okay. So why this pointer is used, or this pointer is used mainly who is invoking the member function, and within that member function, if you want to access that particular object, invoking object information, maybe invoking object employee ID I want to access, invoking object employee name I want to access. So during that time, I can use this pointer. Okay, if local variables are not there, your compiler is smarter to get the values from the invoking object. But if the local variables are also having the same name as that of your object's class data members, then you have to explicitly give this arrow. Okay, this arrow that is compulsory like this. Since both are same, you have to give this arrow. Okay, so that's for today. Hope you have understood this. So these are the very important points. If you are attending for interviews also, then also it is very important. So please practice this. Okay, that's for today. Thanks for watching.